Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Don Raj and today I'm going to show you how to make this puff ring. And it's just basically a puff and I made it into a ring. So, I know the puff was designed by Phil and Spiffy and I just kind of made it into a ring. So I hope you like this tutorial, and this is kind of my own design because I made it into a ring. No one really makes these into rings, but I really like this. So I'm going to show you how to make one today. Today I'll be using several colors for the puff, and then for the white I'll be using white again. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Today you'll be needing several color bands. I'm using several color bands, but you could just use one solid color bands like I did right here. So I'm going to show you the bands I'll be using. I'll be using the bands from rainbowloom.com. And today I'll be using this green. And this is the normal opaque green. I'll link this down below so you can go check this out at rainbowloom.com. I also am going to use yellow. And this is again from rainbowloom.com. So I'll link these bands down below. And the last color I'll be using is this navy blue. And I'll link this down below. And then I'm using some white too from Rainbow Loom. So, anyways, let's get. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my Rainbow Loom today, and we're gonna have it in the normal position, like it comes in, and make sure your red arrows are facing up. Okay, so we're gonna first starting by taking a white band, and we're gonna go from the first peg to the left and to the right. And now we're gonna go from the left like that. And now you're gonna go up one on both sides. So you're gonna take a white band, you're gonna go up one, and then you're also gonna take another one and you're gonna go up one. So like that. And now you're just gonna close it up now. So you're gonna go in from the left side, you're gonna go to the right, and then from the right side, you can go into the left. So it looks like this. It's kind of like a hexagon shape. So you're gonna push your bands down now a lot because we'll be adding a lot of bands. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our colored bands. So we will be needing our white bands, just put them to the side right here. And now we're gonna be using our colored bands. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by taking our colored band, which I'm using green, and we'll take a single one and place it on this peg. And then take another color one. If you're just doing a solid color, just use your solid color the full time until I tell you to switch to white again. So I'm just using different colors for the puff again. So now I'll just put yellow on this pin. Oops. Now I'll just put blue and not start over again. So I'll go green, yellow, and blue. Just like that. So you just lay bands on the pin like that. Oops, one fell off. Okay, so now I'm gonna push these bands because we're also putting another layer of bands. So I'm gonna now do this. See, so I'm gonna take, if you're using different colors like me, I'm taking two bands this time. These are both two bands. I'm gonna put them together. And whatever color, like if you're just doing solid color, use your solid color again. And if you're doing different colors like me, then just like whatever pin, then this one pin is gonna be empty. So you're just gonna take two green bands and you're gonna place them from the middle to the straight, So now you're gonna take your yellow bands, you're gonna place them straight here. So make sure you place your colored bands to the straight wherever you put them. So now I'm taking two blue bands, and make sure you use double bands for this part. Two blue bands. Then again, I'll take two green bands. And make sure to push down the middle sometimes because you need more space to add some more bands. And then yellow. Whoops. Whoa, that was a big thud. And then, you know, these bands. Like that. So you should basically have something that looks like this. And just make sure you don't take one of these bands and just put them over. Make sure they're down on the pin, like I did right here. So this is how you should look if you're using different colors bands. If you're using the same, it should just be all one color, if you see the color bands. And then we have the border on the down. So in total, you should have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands on each pin. And in this middle pin, we should have 12 bands. Okay, so now we're gonna start looping. But before we start looping, we'll be needing to do 2 steps. The first step is taking a white band, whichever color is your border band. And I'm gonna take one white band and I'm gonna make it into a figure 8 shape. Actually not. I'll just take my hook and I'll put it in like that, put it on top of my hook, and then make it into an X shape. And then wherever the X, a loop comes where you made the X. So you're just gonna put it on there. And that makes a cap band. And see, if you see right here, I did a 3-time cap band to really tighten it, make it really tight. But if you want a really loose thing, really loose ring, in the middle you don't want it like all tightened up and kind of cinched up, then you should do it like I just did right now. But if you want it really tight, like this one I did, you're gonna wrap it around one more time. So you're gonna take it, twist it, and put it back on. So that is a 3-time cap band. Now we're gonna stretch this and put it on this middle pin. And now the next step you have to do is just turn your loom around. And I did on the top right here, so I have to kind of move myself right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in another camera position and I'm gonna come back to start looping. Okay, so now we're gonna take our hook and we're gonna go inside the cap band. Let's just say the cap band. And if you did 3 wraps, then you go inside the 3 wraps. Okay, and now you're gonna grab the first 2 bands, which are these blue ones. I'm gonna grab them and take them out. And I'm gonna put it to the pin it's going to. So it's going to this pin, and I'll put it onto this pin. Now we can easily go inside this hole and grab our bands and just loop them out. So I'll grab my yellow ones this time. Go in, grab your green ones, blue ones, your yellow ones. Oops. Oops. I'm sorry if the camera wasn't showing it that correctly, and then my green ones are just gonna come back here. So it should look something like this when you looped everything. And now this is kind of gonna be a tricky part, but you'll get it. So what we do is just start at any pin. Any pin is fine. You don't have to start at exact pin, but I'm just gonna go right here. And I'm gonna go inside these 4 bands, the 4 colored bands. Then I'd grab this bottom band and hold one side of it and kind of pull on it, but not so much. And just hold it and loop the band that you catch down below. And now put this band you've been holding onto your, hook. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your hook up and then it'll make a pop sound. And that just takes off those 4 bands. Now I'm gonna place these new 2 bands on to the pin it was from. So yeah. Now we're gonna do the yellow one. Just go into these 4 bands and hold one side of that band you did and grab also one side of it and pull it up and grab the band you're holding and put it in. Then you're gonna pull it up and place these new 2 bands on the pin, like that. And you're gonna do the same thing. So this one will be kind of hard, but what I like to do is take the band and kind of put it like this, like in front of what I do, and then it kind of gets easier. It's basically the same thing. So I did something wrong. And again, just place the new 2 bands on. Just like that. Now we're going to do these 3. Okay, so this one will be kind of easy. And if you don't hold the band, this will ravel, and then also the band will ravel, so make sure you just hold onto this band. Go in, grab it, pull it off, and put the new 2 bands on. And then these yellow bands. So I'm going to finish these 2 off camera, and I'm going to come back to do the next step. Okay, so I'm done looping all the bands and putting my 2 bands on. And now if you could see, this little center band has tightened. You see that? So, yeah, okay. So now we're gonna loop the border. So we're gonna go inside the 2 bands that you first see. Now this is not necessary, but you can just place a cap band on this pin if you like. So I don't really need to because there's already 2 bands. So I'm not gonna place a cap band. So we're gonna start looping by going inside these 2 front bands, and make sure you start looping from the bands that you see. It will just be the most easiest. You can start from any pin, but we place the bands in a position where we have to start from this pin. So we have to start from this pin. So just go in the bottom pin, and you're gonna grab the first white band you see, which is your border band. And you're gonna take it and loop it out, and you're gonna put it to the pin it's coming to. It's not coming to here, it's coming to here. So you're gonna put it there. Now if you can see, this is really have to do, because if you don't really listen to this step, your whole ring will be ruined. Now you'll go inside these 4 bands, and make sure if you pull on them, these should be all the 4 bands. Now grab the bottom band and pull it and loop it to the first pin, like that. And now do the same thing. Make sure you're going inside all the 4 bands, and then go grab the bottom band and loop it to the ending pin, which is right here. Okay, and now we're gonna do the same thing. So we'd go inside here, go inside here, grab the band, we'll loop it, and again, I'll just make sure I'm going inside all the 4 bands when I loop. Okay, so I looped everything, and now just for the pressure of this loop, I'm just gonna take this off, okay? So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab 2 white bands. Okay, so I took my 2 white bands, and make sure you have 2. If you use 1, your ring will break, okay? So make sure you use 2 bands, and you're just gonna take your hook, and you're gonna go inside all of these bands. And now you're gonna tug on the side to make sure you go all in those bands. And now I'm gonna go over to the side, and you're gonna take 2 bands, and you're gonna kind of pull them through. Reattach, and then reattach. And now I've got everything pulled, everything nice and secure and pulled. And now what you could do is you're gonna hold this part of your hook really tightly, and you'd kind of pinch this and pull it up. And now just take this off your loom. And you have to kind of squeeze it, you know, kind of make it. And there's your puff. And that's how your puff is gonna look. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ring bands. Now, what do I mean by ring bands? So if you see on this ring, I used ring bands, and these are called ring bands. But I'm just gonna take them, and I'm gonna make a similar trade. So I'm gonna start off with blue. Pull blue bands through, these 2. Then take a yellow, pull them through. Then take green, and then start that over again. So for my ring size, I use 7 bands. So yeah, and whatever just measures your ring size, whatever finger you want to wear it on. Yeah, so I just made a single chain of my ring size. Now let's see if it still fits, and it does. And now, actually I'm going to undo one of the bands because that was a little loose. But now I'm going to take a C-clip. Here, I'll show you what the C-clip I mean. A C-clip, and these are C-clips, if you didn't know. These are the C-clips I'm seeing. And I'm just going to open these. I need to open a new pack of C-clips because I used some of them. So I'm just going to take one of these C-clips, and a small one will work definitely fine. So I'll just take these off, and I'll put them on my finger, and then put the C-clip on. So now I'm just going to kind of go around, and remember those two bands that we used kind of like a cat band? You're going to stretch those out, and make sure your single chain is really nice and straight, and you're going to put it on to the C-clip. So make sure it's all the way on there, and just kind of make some adjustments and everything. And voila, you have a puff ring, like that. I'll show you the other one. Puff rings. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.